Alright, I think we're live again. I didn't stream yesterday, I didn't do anything yesterday rather. Um, but I think where we were 2 days ago, I was getting um, issues with my Lambdas because the authorizer was not set up. And I think I needed to adjust some stuff in here, and that looks right because these are not right. So let's see what is in the bin. Do I pass in crow? I only pass in that. So this stuff needs to be changed to this because these are the paths that I want to use it with. I don't need an API key. I'm going to take that out. But I do need an authorizer. That's for validation stuff. I'll need that on some of them, but like the one that's commented out down here, the stats post. So, oh, whoops. Speed delete. And then this last one. I get upset about that. This code sometimes takes a while, I guess. There's that. And then we have this guy. And I don't think he needs an API key either or authorization, but maybe we'll need some of this. Maybe something like that. But for now, I'll leave it blank. And that means I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. So now the authorizer should be set up on all of my methods, and that should pass the unique ID and all that good stuff through. But I do still need a JWT. Oh, did I ever add that to my authorizer lambda? I have that. I don't know if I did. So after this guy is created, I need to add authorizer add environment and let's see. I forget which variables it needs. GWKS URL, which is from, okay, that's from config. And I have that stuff. Okay. Sounds good. And I don't think I need anything else. I'm going to just on my phone because it's going to show like sensitive information. I'm going to create an application on CrowAuth for this, just so I can get the JWT and stuff. Okay. Now that I have, I guess there is no sensitive information because I blur the secrets and stuff out. Hey, hey, stop it. Hey, Paul, Dakota, Dakota, here you go. Dakota, Dakota, pet paws. Well, I have dogs. Sorry about that. I didn't break anyone's eardrums. So I do have the JWK stuff set up, so now it doesn't necessarily matter in the code, but in here I will have to get a token. And in order to get a token, I will need to, oops. Yeah, JWT. And let's see. I need URL. And I've done this before. Let me go find it. I think it's in pro auth. Here we go. It's an old token. Don't worry, it's an old token. And it's v1 sign in. Oops. There's that. And for this, I need to send in it's a post. Send in email. And password. So I'll finish this in a second. I'll probably do something like that, like off stream. Or I'll just make it test. I could just make it test. But I'll have to hide something off stream. Let's see. This should synth. And that will, oh, I didn't even save it. Oh, because I needed to add it. I thought I needed to add an environment variable. I do not need to add an environment variable. I'll just kick that back off. So all of these paths will be under, or will have the Lambda authorizer working for them, and the Lambda authorizer will look at the JWT that's given to it, and it will either create a user or retrieve user information. So let's deploy that. And then I think I'm going to make my screen blind, and then I'll add in some like username and password stuff real quick. So what I'm doing is, normally I would have a front end built with Crow, and I would be able to like log in and create my account and all that good stuff. However, I do not have that option because I don't have a front end built for it. So instead, I'm just going to create the testing credentials on my own. And I'm going to do that using just using Insomnia, because I have all these things for Insomnia. So I can, let's see. Yes, I'll just do like my email will be test@test.com and my password will be test, and I'll just do that for I'll just do that for my dev environment, just so I have something to actually test with. And I actually need to go to the side so I can get my application ID and secret. Let's see. Adding that information as environment variables. Well, yeah, I guess that is kind of an environment variable. There's the secret. Oops. And then the ID is this. Oh, I was picking the wrong one. Oh, maybe I wasn't. Oh, I see. Yeah, never mind. Okay, there's the secret, and there's the ID for dev. And then I'll change my environment around so that I use the site analytics information. And then I will sign up. And then I will, since I don't actually have that email, I will go in here and find my verification token, and that would normally be sent through email, but since I am the owner, I get to do that. And then I can sign up. So I also need this. Oh. Oops, I did it for the wrong one. 1 second. I did it in the wrong fields. That's my fault. Okay. sign up rather. So now I'll sign up and go do the same flow, except that now it should be for a different. Is it not? Oh, I need to refresh my token because I was using an old one. They expire, I just have it set in Insomnia to expire after, I forget how long, but after a set amount of time, so. Ah, okay. There we go. So now I finally have the JWT, the application's JWT sorted out. But there's an error because I need to give it a verification URL, a reset password URL. Unfortunately, I do not have those since I do not have a front end currently. So and I'm getting an error that I can't save my configuration. Which might point to a bigger problem. This might end up being a debugging session for something that I didn't think I was going to have to debug right now. And I'm sorry that you don't get to see the screen. I'll just try to explain what I'm doing. So when I went to go update something in Core Authentication didn't want to work. I say Core Authentication. I think I'm probably going to end up open sourcing this, but not a function. Yeah, I'll probably end up at some point open sourcing Crow Auth just because I feel like that would benefit people the most. At least I hope. So that might happen. It's saying something is not a function, but I definitely see it as a function, and I definitely see it exported. Oh, I see. Oh, it's from the index. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, it should have worked. I just didn't have something exported correctly. So now I am going over to the Pro Auth repo, and I will synth and deploy the code change. I also have an appointment at 8 for my truck, so I'm going to have to leave soon-ish for that. But at least I found a bug somewhere. So that's good. At least I can fix that. I guess I'll talk about CrowAuth while we wait for this to deploy. For anyone who doesn't know, I've written about it. Anyone who doesn't know, it's not like people really use it. It's just it's pretty much your basic authentication API. So let's see, I'll go through some of the endpoints. The way I have it set up might be a little funky, but there are two main entities or objects in this that you can create and manipulate. They're applications and then users. So you would, as an admin, you would create an application and then you have authorization over that application. You can update it, you can get the applications that you own, you can delete applications, whatever, like normal. And then you can sign into an application. To sign into an application, you need the application's ID and the secret. This is just similar to like an API key pretty much. It's just like some sort of basic authentication to prove that you are the admin of the application. So if you wanted to get a JWT for a specific user, you first have to prove that you are the application you say you are. And from that, you'll get a JWT for the application, and that JWT is passed in all the subsequent requests for the users so that the API can authenticate which application that user is working within. So let's say I have an account with two different websites that use CrowAuth. Let's say I use like Site Analytics and then let's say like Crowbook, like Crow Facebook. Yeah, some like Facebook knockoff, right? Each one of those applications would need to get its own JWT so that if I signed in to the Site Analytics, I would only, I might have a different password for Site Analytics than I do for the Facebook knockoff, right? And through that application level JWT, Crow can determine which application you are working within. So there's that, and then as a user, so users don't have to deal with that, but users deal with the normal, like you sign up, and then you'll get it. You sign up with an email address and password, and I've thought about adding in like social logins or other types of logins in the future. Okay, so the API is deploying in the background. It hasn't finished yet. And like other information, maybe like if you wanted to put in a phone number for like MFA or something along those lines, potentially supporting that in the future. But you sign up with your username and password, and then it will send you an email. So then however you present that to the user is up to the application. If I have like a boilerplate application that I've personally used a lot, it's built with Next.js. Once you get that email, it'll send you a link and an ID. You'll click that link and it'll, at least with the boilerplate application, it'll put your verification token in, then you can verify. After you verify, then your user account is live. Then you can sign in with that username and password that you created. It's all hashed in the background with bcrypt, so it's up to date on like how I store passwords and whatnot. And then you're signed in. When you sign in, you get a token, and that token can be put in a cookie and sent as like a bearer token for subsequent API requests. That's where it picks up for Site Analytics. So that once I sign in as a user, then I can take that token, pass the user JWT to Site Analytics, and then it can verify with the JWKS that I have set up. So that's how it works. And the idea was, well, you could have a JWKS and that's public, and you can sign your tokens however you want. You don't necessarily have to go through that flow. You just have to get a JWT that's signed using the private key that corresponds to that public JWKS. That's the idea behind it, and that's why I set up. If you watch the other videos, like the design videos, that's why I set up the config the way that I did. Which I thought so far is, at least mentally, it's working out pretty well. I obviously had some bugs in Crow that I needed to fix, but that's not a fault with the way that I designed site analytics to take on authentication. Crow also has endpoints to reset passwords, so if you forget it or if you want to update it, it'd be the same flow, more or less. So yeah. That's what Crow is. So let's see where we are in the deployment. So it is deployed, so let me see if I can make these changes. And I could make the changes, which means that now I should be able to sign up for my site analytics application. And that went through, so now I'll do what I did before. I'll go into the DB and I'll find my verification token, since I don't have that email, and then I can verify myself, and I'm verified, and now I can sign in. Right? Right. Cool. So now we're there. So what I need to do is move this over to its application sign in. I need to move this over to my site analytics stuff. Also need a new request for Pro Auth application JWT. There's that. And then I need to add in the environment variables. Okay, those are in there now, and then I need it's /v1/application/sign-in. That should get me my JWT. Oh, that says I'm unauthorized. Did I copy something wrong? I must have copied something wrong. Or is this the right URL? Oops. Pressed the wrong key and I took down Insomnia. Press Control W instead of Control E. Or Command E, rather. I think I just had the wrong endpoint. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Done. Let's try again. Yeah, I got a 401. I should have gotten a 401. Now I got my token. And now in here, this is a bearer token. The prefix is bearer. How did I do it on these? Did I? Oh yeah, I did do a bearer token. Okay, cool. What was the timeout 3000? Bearer token, and that bearer token is going to come from a response body attribute of the previous request under token, and I will do the same thing. I will expire this at 3,000 seconds so I don't spam anything trying to get requests. And then now I have my user token and I have it over in my site analytics collection. So that means that I can start creating, and then I'll open this back up, then I'll start sharing my screen again. I can, from my user, I can get the new JWT, and I will also do the same thing, that it expires after 3,000 seconds, and then I do that here. I can. Does it work? Okay, cool. And then the rest of these guys, I will also paste in that bear token Insomnia configuration. Okay, now I think I'm ready to open up the site. Let me get rid of some of these windows. Don't need those. And let's turn it back on. Welcome back to my screen. So, let me get Insomnia. What I did, I have this application JWT, I have the my user JWT, which is test@test.com. And this gets a JWT, and in here, what it does is it pulls, oh, well, there's the JWT, it'll last for another 5 minutes. That will pull the JWT out of the response body from this guy, and then use it as the bearer token for this request. So, and I did that for all of these requests. So when I do this, there's probably an internal server error because it's all, you know, new. Where'd the rest of my... Oh, no. I need a valid authorizer. Uh-oh. Did it not create my authorizer? Well, I didn't realize that before. Okay. So there's something to do here with it not finding the authorizer. So let's see what the problem was. What are these method configurations? So I do have some funky stuff with the method configurations. Use authorizer lambda, that's what I need. I think. I don't know. I think that's what in Crow API, that's what connects everything together. So I think that's probably just what I was missing. I don't know if I need the authorization type. I don't think I do. Let's see what the other prompts are. Use authorizer lambda. That also needs to be at the top directory, or directory at the top level. All right. And let's see how this does. Synthesize, there shouldn't be anything to deploy for the tables. Now we're on the API. Yes, I do want to connect those. I guess that should have been my key off, that I wasn't asked for the token authorizer to get permissions. I guess it's the API gateway that gets permissions to invoke the authorizer lambda. It happens. I'll let that deploy. It's looking better. I don't know where it aired out last time, but I'm going to try to update the method. We'll see. It works or it doesn't. No, I guess the difference here is it's creating the Lambda function. So at least there's a Lambda function now. I don't know how the synthesis let that work. Like, why did CDK synth let me do that? Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's valid cloud formation somehow, but it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know why it let me do that. Okay. It's, yeah, the update is complete and it's cleaning up now, so. I figured there would be an internal server error. Let's see. See what this guy looks like. Okay, cool. So we're back to where we needed to be on that. At least that's what it seems. And then I want that to open up, but I also want to look at this guy. What the Lambda function is this? Okay. Because I have a feeling it's not just this Lambda that's going to give me insight. It's also going to be this one. Those two put together, and then this one is its own. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I have a feeling it probably didn't even make it to this Lambda. But it's something in the authorizer. Oh, no, it did. Wait, maybe. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. That's probably the most recent one. Can't destructure that as it is undefined. We're still getting that? Maybe there was some like cached stuff, especially since this wasn't even invoked. Right, and in the API gateway, I can see that sites get should have the authorizer in the middle. Oh, a null message. CloudWatch can be so slow. So I had a 500, and then I had a message, which makes me think that it got to here, because there's the message, but there was no error message. So somewhere I must have like thrown an error, but didn't put a message in it. And those, it's not one of those statuses, it's a 500. So I don't know where this error is. Maybe it wasn't here. Yeah, there we go. Ah, it wasn't here. Oh. Package subpath. Oh, I didn't import the package correctly? Oh. I thought I thought I got that code like from a working example. It's verifying, right? Yeah. JWT verify. Jose.jwt verify. Oh. Well, that is, it's actually not a bad thing, because in here I have the actual code and it's a problem with the code, so I can, you know, I can just do it from here. Just do a Jose.jwt verify and then delete that, I guess. And I'll test it. And whenever I do stuff like that, I like to immediately go in here and update this code. Okay. Unfortunately, the way that, well, actually, let's see. My authorizer is set up to cache tokens for an hour. I don't know if it caches it if there's an internal server error, so, oh, there we go, okay. So it's unauthorized. Why is it, there we go. It's unauthorized, which is probably coming from this guy. Still coming from him. Value null. Okay, so the table, interesting, that this probably shouldn't, I don't know if it, like, so it probably got to here. It was this in here that didn't have table name, which is valid, and then it errored, got thrown up here, and then it threw an error. Because it threw an error, it gave me unauthorized, when I feel like it should have given me like a 500. But the problem with that is, if I go back here, I connect DynamoDB to these lambdas, but I never connected it to my authorizer lambda. So, and I think this works off paths, so that's probably not going to work. I can use those pieces, right? Yeah, it's grant full access and add environment variable. So this is API.authorizer lambda, and this is primary table, and then the opposite, add environment variable. The name is this, and it's that table. I can just add that in here. That'll probably be a fairly quick update, actually. I'll just redeploy from the CDK. A lot of this debugging stuff takes a while. Well, okay, I'll say it takes a little bit of overhead. I think it's, in my opinion, oh, yes, I do want to give it access. In my opinion, this is how you should test, especially serverless, but any cloud native application or workload. I've seen a lot of things like local stack, and I don't know. I know that there are other services and like third-party things created to mock cloud services. I personally don't think that that's a good idea. I personally think that you should just go to the cloud to test stuff. There's a little bit more overhead, obviously, because I have to like update all this stuff. And whenever I update code, um, it's gonna update. I do it. I update the Lambda functions before I test it. I don't just test it locally. You can set stuff up to mock it. Like if there are unit tests that you need to run, you can mock the event, the like API gateway event that gets passed in. Or better yet, since I wrote this and I used the hexagonal architecture, the um, the business logic is completely separated from API gateway. It has no idea that it's talking to API gateway or to DynamoDB for that matter, just that it's storing data somewhere. So if there's a unit test that needs to happen in like the business logic, then you can just import that function, run it with a given payload, check the output, like you're good to go. So, but there's nothing in my code, I believe, that will be that complicated that I need to do it. So, I'm not going to. Now we're updating this. I might have to get a new token because of this caching, but we'll see. What I'll be looking for in here is a new log stream, because when the Lambda function updates, when the authorizer Lambda function updates, it will have its new like ID. So the Lambda will write to a new log stream. If that log stream is not there, it means that it probably cached the result of that JWT and it won't work anymore. But I also want to I want to check here that it does actually have, okay, it does have the table name. So that's good. Let's hit it. Unique ID not found while creating calendar. Okay. Do I have the right URL? Yeah, I do. That's probably in here that error got spit out. Yeah. And that's probably in, yeah, in the adapter utils. No, it's in my logic, so I must have copied something over for that. Endpoint. For creating calendar. Wall. Yeah. Okay, so it didn't inject. Well, there's the authentication information. And it does have a. Oh, it's user unique ID. Why did I change the name of that? That's probably why. Because it's called user unique ID instead of unique ID. Should I also do that in here? Okay. I'll do that. It probably was, and then I changed the name, and then I just left it the way it was, but that was my fault. I'm going to go ahead and guess that that will work, and then, well, I say that. I think that will work. I don't know. Let's make sure that the, another thing to do. Why does it not, it keeps like unfavoriting DynamoDB, but I want to check in the table that the user was created, and the user was not created. Interesting. So here, you'd think we would try to read the user, and if nothing came back, oh, it probably does send something back. That port probably sends something back. Read user. users.read. It probably sends back like an empty object. Yeah, if nothing, return. So that's what happened. What I need to check instead is user ID dot, yeah, user data dot ID. And that would tell me if it exists or not. If it doesn't exist, I want to create it, then it will exist. Yeah. So this will go through, and then I'll just go into the authorizer lambda and change it so that I don't have to go through a full deploy again, because that's a little quicker. So, but it is cached. So if it doesn't update, or create the user rather, then it's fine. If it doesn't create the user, then I'll have to go get a new JWT to refresh the caching. Data function. Let's make the request. So that part changed. The real big thing is here. Doesn't. So there's still a disconnect somewhere because I just changed that. It's still user unique ID. Oh, did this just... No, it's unique ID. It's probably cached. That's probably what happened. What? Yeah, it's still set as like... Because that authentication information log is coming from here. Oh, I didn't save it. Alright. It happens. It still doesn't completely click that it didn't like... Or maybe it did. Did it? No, it still didn't... Don't understand that. If not user data dot ID, then create the user. And that should be there. Yeah, I'm not completely sure. I'm not completely sure about that one. But we'll deploy it, and then I'll make sure I get a brand new JWT. Alright. And then whenever that gets deployed, I'll test it again. So I guess the reason why I can't, when I'm updating stuff like this, why I can't just update that code in the console is because this is in a Lambda layer, and you can, well, I don't know if you can update it in the console actually. I don't think you can. So that's just a zip that lives somewhere that's shared amongst Lambda functions. So I don't think I can update that, which is fine. But it seems like everything else is pulling the information accordingly. So that's good. It means it's the whole 29 thing, it means it's updating all of the Lambda functions. It's good and bad. It's updating all the Lambda functions because I updated the Lambda layer. The bad part is it's going to take a longer time than it initially would have. But say la vie. Oh boy. My guess is this is actually updating a lot of things. It just doesn't look like it. Sometimes debugging takes a long time. Part of those steps, I'm sure, is like deleting Lambda or deleting the layer and stuff like that, so it'll probably go a little faster than it seems like it will. Okay, it is complete. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's try this again. I'm unauthorized. What happened? Bad things happened. Pass a non-empty set. Or convert empty values equals true. Oh, I have heard about this. This is something to do with in here. I'm passing it. Where's the create? Yeah, I'm passing it these guys. So I need to do an options dot convert empty values. I just need to know where to actually set that. Probably in here. Where's the options? Where are the options? Convert. Oh, it's in the constructor. So I think that would be in here, in the client, in the document client. No, in here. Convert. Convert. No. Where is it? Well, I'm also on V3. That one. Marshall options, which goes in the translate config. Ah, okay. And then this goes into this. And then okay. I'm gonna do that, but I'm not actually gonna deploy it and test it because I have to go. So yeah, I'll continue this debugging session later. I knew that this was gonna take a while, so this is all just, I mean, it's all just part of it. So but thanks for watching. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Hopefully there was like some type of useful information that you could get out of it. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who watched, and oh. Hello, Abdul. Thanks for commenting. Sorry, I don't really look at the comments. I don't necessarily expect a lot of people to watch this stuff, but it's cool that people do, so I appreciate that. I'll try to keep the chat. I wonder if I can like pop it out or something. Aha, I can. So I'll, yeah, sorry for not paying too much attention to that, but I appreciate you watching, and anyone else who watches in the replay or anything like that. So yeah, thanks for joining in. I might do this again tomorrow about the same time, but yeah, and yeah, thanks for watching. If you're interested in using this or using anything else that I do on this, most of the stuff is open and available for people. So um, yeah, feel free to reach out. My blog has all my contact information on it. So, but thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, I guess.